Hi, Garrett. How are you?
Hi, good to meet you.
Same here. So I just want to start by saying that time was beautiful and intimate, and it was very personal, and it really connected with me. So job well done there. Um, so how did you come across this story, and what about it made you want to tell it and show it to a broader audience?
So I had made a short film called Alone, which was a 13-minute op doc, New York Times op doc. And I had, even though the film kind of changed its shape, my initial thoughts around it were to have to facilitate intergenerational conversations between women in incarcerated families. Um, to share information with each other, to exchange information with each other, to offer systems of support where needed. And in the process of making that film, I met Fox Rich, and we developed a relationship with one another. And I thought, as a filmmaker, it would be really important to try to extend the conversation beyond this one short film and make almost a sister film to Alone that was also looking at incarceration from a Black feminist perspective, from a familial perspective, and from a perspective that really showed the effects of incarceration.
And that's usually a storyline that we don't really get to see. And you definitely give viewers a different perspective of incarceration. So you didn't show images of Rob in prison garb. You didn't show anything inside the prison. And I'm sure that that was a conscious effort on your part. So you were able to blend what seemed like an art house film with the more documentary style and kind of give us a different perspective. How hard was it to come up with that way of telling the story?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it was not hard at all because I couldn't get any access to shooting inside the prison, which most people, unfortunately, don't. It's very difficult to do that. And I think thinking about the optics of making films about incarceration, to me, it was really revealing of how invisibility is also used as a form of oppression. That if there's 2.3 million people that are incarcerated, the fact that we can't see them, we can't see the conditions that they're in, it really prevents people from understanding the outrage they should be feeling, that the
Right.
majority of us should be feeling. So a lot of that choice just came by necessity. But I do hope that Robert's presence kind of is there throughout the film, even if he isn't sort of physically present. And I think a lot of that, I felt at least, was due to the family's ability to stay connected to one another.
And again, what kind of makes this different is in the end, this is more of a hopeful story. It's not like every other prison story that's just bleak and depressing. Um, so, what is it that you really want viewers to take away from this story?
Well, I think that's a question that I always ask people before I start working with them. And when I asked Fox before we started filming that same question, I mean, she felt and the family felt that their story, we feel that their story is the story of 2.3 million other American families. And so the hope is that there is that there's a level of hope, that there's a string of hope, and that to a certain extent there's a template for different ways in which we can resist
Right.
um, oppression, and that can happen through love, and through unity, and through holding on to one's individuality in the process.
Thank you so much for taking the time to answer a few questions for me today.
Yeah,
Definitely appreciate.
thank you. I appreciate your time. Thank you.